The night sky showed no signs of disaster. The Seoul Los Angeles commercial flight was as usual luxurious, quiet, and full of secrecy. No one knew that behind a tightly insulated VIP cabin, the body of one of the most beloved idols on the planet would collapse. And the world will pause. The plane was barely over the Pacific midline when it happened. Small voice.
Take a breath.
A soft "hyung" came from Jungkook's mouth, who was sitting not far from the right side of the cabin. His eyes on the iPad screen suddenly widened. He jumped from his chair. Taehyung, ah! Taehyung's body pushed forward, his left hand grasping the chair as if losing his balance. But what left Jungkook speechless was not that, it was the crimson drops that fell from under Taehyung's nose. Not just one, but a lot. Too soon, blood. Jungkook froze for a split second. Then it all exploded. Hyung. Blood. The flight crew, trained to maintain composure in the face of 1,000 kinds of interference, immediately panic. Flight attendants carrying P3K boxes, while HYB security staff from the back seat running around. But before anyone could touch Taehyung's body, Jungkook first pulled him hard into his arms. Hyung, look at me. You hear me? His voice broke. His breathing was blocked. His hand pressed Taehyung's temple awkwardly. Another tried to stop the flow of blood from the idol's nose with a wet tissue that didn't absorb quickly enough. Taehyung shivered. Someone shouted from behind. Maybe Jimin, or maybe just an echo of the chaos that began to envelop the cabin. Nothing is really clear, except for one thing. Taehyung's normally calm face is now deathly pale. His eyes were almost closed, and blood was still rushing from his nose, staining his loose white t-shirt he was wearing for the flight. Don't close your eyes, Hyung. Please, whispered Jungkook, this time his voice trembling. He held Taehyung's body tighter until they seemed to merge. The panic on Magne BTS's face was too real. It couldn't be denied. It couldn't be hidden. Give me some space, said a medic from the airline, who finally managed to break through the small crowd around Taehyung's seat. But Jungkook didn't let go of his embrace.
No, not now.
Not when the body he embraced began to cool. You don't understand, said Jungkook raucously. It's not just a nosebleed.
He's been like this the last week.
But nobody wants to listen. The medic looked at Jungkook, confused. What do you mean? You didn't report this to HYB's medical staff. Jungkook didn't answer. His eyes were fixed on Taehyung, and that's when a HYB staffer's cell phone camera accidentally captured the moment Jungkook's hands holding Taehyung's head were full of blood, his body trembling, holding back tears, and his quiet whisper. If you leave, I'm coming. Incheon Airport, at 22:45 South Korean time, from the outside, everything looks normal. 7 men with black masks, beanie hats, and dark glasses stepped into the VIP gate. The fans waved from a distance, but there were no shouts, no hysteria. They know this is a secret schedule. Flight to Los Angeles, for an unwritten schedule in any media. Just a rumor that BTS will do a surprise photo shoot with a global label. However, behind the sweet smiles that Jin and J-Hope throw at the staff, Taehyung looks different. IT runs a little slower. Rubbed his nape twice. Then coughed slowly. Jungkook looked up, his eyebrows clenched. Hyung, are you okay? Taehyung nodded, quickly. Just exhausted. Here, ordinary. But Jungkook knows this is unusual. He remembered the night 2 days earlier, when he walked into Taehyung's hotel room in Tokyo and found a bloody tissue in the trash. Taehyung says it's just too hot, lack of sleep, or dry weather. The same reason for the past week, and Jungkook, as usual, is overly respectful of his Hyung's personal space, but that night, his instincts were wrong. VVIP class aircraft seats are always comfortable. Too comfortable, even, to realize that the body can be damaged silently. J-Hope puts on a headset and goes to sleep quickly. Jen was impressed with the switch. Suga wrote the lyrics to the song on iPad notes. I read the book Philosophy. Jimin tried to rewatch the choreographic rehearsal video, and Taehyung, he's quiet. Staring at the dark windows outside, Jungkook can't sleep. His eyes continued to steal a glance towards the bench next door. He noticed the way Taehyung sat, upright but stiff. His hands occasionally pressed against his chest, then to the nose, then a long sigh.
1, 2.
3. Until the end, the blood came out. Without warning, no sound, and the world stopped. At 3:18 a.m., Korean time, the plane is still in the air. But the world began to rumble. One of the business passengers, a Japanese businessman, accidentally heard the chaos behind the dividing curtain of the VVIP cabin. And as is so often the case in the digital age, his first instinct was not to ask, but to pick up the phone and start recording a faint voice from behind the cabin door. And the 27-second video, which shows only the curtains of the plane and the sound of frantic steps, it is clearly audible. He's bleeding again. Hyung, open your eyes. Taehyung. Don't let him faint. Take oxygen. Within 3 minutes, the video was leaked to Twitter, X, via an anonymous account that only wrote captions. Something bad is happening to BTS on their flight. I'm scared. Hashtag pray for Taehyung. His head rested on the magnate's chest, with blood still visible on his neck. Jungkook looked straight ahead, his eyes wet, his face pale, and his hands clasped a dense red tissue. The photo only lasted 14 minutes before it was deleted, but it had already spread to hundreds of thousands of accounts. Los Angeles. LAX International Airport. The BTS plane landed 2 hours ahead of schedule. But none of the media can take pictures. All access is closed. Even immigration staff were blocked by extra escorts, according to rumors from the airport ground handling officer. One of the BTS members was taken out via the medical emergency line. There is an ambulance, but all cameras are closed. They came out in silence. Again, the public can only speculate, and that makes it all the hotter. Jimin and Suga unfollowed HYB's official Instagram account. The army is growing. In silence, in the sterile room of a private hospital in LA, Taehyung lies. Still limping. Still pale. Jungkook sat beside his bed, not talking. Just holding Taehyung's right hand that has been fitted with Ford, Taehyung opened his eyes.
Slow down.
His lips moved slowly. Why are you crying? And Jungkook only answered in a barely audible voice. Because I can't do it without you. At 3:02 in the morning, Los Angeles time, the hospital that HYB hired for private treatment seemed quiet. All windows of the VIP room are closed with thick curtains. But inside, the world was shaking subtly, as Taehyung had just regained full consciousness for the first time since the incident in the air. Around him were only 2 people, Jungkook and a foreign doctor who checked his blood pressure. How does he feel? Jungkook asked softly, sitting on the edge of the bed with his face still looking tired. Taehyung tried to speak. His voice was hoarse, dizzy, and dark. The doctor nodded. That's normal. He lost a lot of blood and was severely exhausted. But the most serious thing is not that. Jungkook looked up. Then what? The doctor looked at him deeply. Psychological. He held the pressure for too long. Jungkook held Taehyung's hand tighter. It was like holding a crack in his own heart. After the doctor leaves and Taehyung is left to rest, the unexpected happens. Taehyung, still weak, asks for his phone. Jungkook hesitated. Are you sure, Hyung? Taehyung smiled a little. The army must be in a panic. I have to tell you I'm alive. Jungkook finally hands over Taehyung's iPhone with a passcode that only the 2 of them know. With trembling hands, Taehyung opened Instagram. Not to upload photos. A short message through history. The message contained only 7 words. But the world is on fire. If I'm lost, don't look for me. Black and white. Without filters. Without hashtags. Just that sentence that IT lasted only 42 seconds before it suddenly disappeared.